An historic night on the ACC Network Extra. It's the Heritage Game as NC State hosts Western Carolina. The Wolfpack returns to William Neal Reynolds Coliseum, K-Yow Court, and the newly dedicated James T. Valvano Arena. A sold-out crowd on hand tonight. With Chris Corchiani, I'm Andrew Sanders. Chris, NC State led by the point guard Markel Johnson. He's known for his passing last year. He's been their best scorer the last two games.
No doubt, he's a great passer, but this NC State team is at its best when Markel's looking to score.
Western Carolina going to have to contend with him. They're going to look to their double-doubles machine, Carlos Dotson.
Dotson's averaging 14 points, 9 boards. He's going to have to do a good job on the boards, but he also is going to have to give Western some interior scoring.
And the Catamounts love to shoot the three. Their best three-point shooter is Matt Halverson.
Halverson's a great shooter, can really fill the stat sheet. But what Matt Halverson has to do tonight is protect the ball against the NC State pressure.
Well, we're ready to go here in Valvano Arena, Reynolds Coliseum. With Chris Corchiani, I'm Andrew Sanders. Chris, what an atmosphere here tonight.
I tell you, this is special. It's not only special for NC State, it's special for Western Carolina having the opportunity to play in what I think is the greatest atmosphere to have a ball game.
Get the starting lineup for the Wolfpack here tonight as both C.J. Bryce and Devin Daniels are in the starting lineup as NC State has the first possession. The big man Wyatt Walker going to work. Knocked over, they'll call it travel. That big body of Dotson.
The way Western Carolina wants to play that, they're going to give NC State the three-pointer. They don't want dribble penetration, one-on-one drives. They said earlier, we're going to let you shoot the three. If you beat it, if you make it and beat us, we're good with it.
How about this? A turnover for Western Carolina and a travel. Mark Goslin started to move with the basketball there.
That's the number we're going to have to watch for Western Carolina. NC State wants to apply all kind of pressure, and we'll have to see how Western handles it.
It's really a strength versus a weakness tonight. NC State 18th in the country in turnover margin. Western Carolina a little further down that list as Wyatt Walker grabs an offensive rebound. 2 tries, can't get it to go, and finally there's Steger, Ano Steger of Western Carolina to get the stop. NC State empty on the first possession. We'll get a look at the Catamounts starting 5. Mark Goslin wants some movement. Torren Dorn on him, and off to Steger. 10 on the shot clock. Steger will try a long 3. That's way off the mark. Long rebound comes all the way out to Gibson. He'll spot up a 3, and that doesn't drop either. We know Western Carolina, they make almost 10 threes per game. They're going to jack them up tonight.
They can shoot it. They had a really nice look off of that long offensive rebound. They're the ones you got to make in order to stay in this game for Western Carolina.
C.J. Bryce, baseline jumper is good.
CJ's got a great mid-range game when he puts it down on the deck. 1 or 2 dribbles, he can lift up. He's got great acceleration on that jump shot.
Marcus Thomas dealing with the full court pressure provided by Markel Johnson. And the Catamounts still not into their offense. Only 12 to shoot. They finally get it inside the three-point line. Thomas off balance. He was fouled. Officiating crew tonight, Ted Valentine, Ray Steins, and Bert Smith, who called the foul. Head coach of the Wolfpack in his second year, Kevin Keats, and he asked the fans to wear red. He is dressed for the occasion.
He is decked out. I mean, that is one heck of a suit. He comes with great excitement. I had a chance to talk to him yesterday at practice, and he was so excited that the kids were going to have an opportunity to play in front of these fans, but also with the arena being, with Coach V.
As Thomas makes the first free throw. If you notice there, Coach Keats now sitting on 100 career wins after the Wolfpack win over Vanderbilt in the Miami Hoop Hall Invitational. Got an 80-65 win.
You notice how Western's going to play. It's man-to-man, but it looks like a zone. They don't want anything. They want you to shoot over the top.
Steger fell down, and Daniels knocks it down. Now, Western Carolina, they're not afraid to run at all.
You know, they'd like to go up and down. You know, you want to try to get in the half court and then work it, but if they can get a good early shot, they certainly will take it.
Dangerous pass. Eager trying to throw it off Dorn, and it's a turnover. NC State, you know they'll push it. Here's Bryce to the rack. Last touch by the Catamounts, says Ted Valentine.
I thought that was a really nice hit-ahead pass by Markell to C.J. Bryce. He just wasn't able to finish. That's one where Daniels gave him the shoulder, and if he would have flopped, he would have had that call, and we certainly saw a lot of those in Wisconsin.
Walker touched it while it was still in the cylinder. It'll be basket interference. Walker made the initial play that let Torin Dorn get that offensive rebound.
I think Wyatt Walker works extremely hard on both ends of the court. Here you see him just making the extra effort play and tips it up on the rim.
So Western Carolina with the turnover that last possession, they averaged just a hair under 19 turnovers per game. That is 351st in the NCAA. NC State forces 17 per game. That's 32nd in the country. So that is the strength versus the weakness tonight. We will keep a very close eye on the number of turnovers for the Catamounts. They have got to take care of the basketball tonight. First time we see Dotson. He shuffled the feet. No, they got a foul call, and he'll go to the line for a three-point play.
That was just great footwork by Dotson. Gets the ball inside, gives Walker a fake and an up and under scoop. Just a really nice move by Dotson.
So we talked about him at the top of the show, and why wouldn't we? At Furman, 27 points, 14 rebounds, and the big guy already has 3 in this one. And with he'll check out, here comes DJ Myers for Coach Prosser. Mark Prosser in his first year at the helm in Cullowhee. The son of former Wake Forest head coach Skip Prosser, coming to Western Carolina from being an associate head coach at Winthrop under a great coach, Pat Kelsey. And Western is extremely excited to have him running the show.
And they should be. He is from great pedigree, just a super guy. I tell you, when I talked to him about this game today, he said he made his kids, he wanted to educate them to know what Coach Valvano was about, what Reynolds Coliseum was all about. He's just a class act, and Western Carolina is going to have some great success with him in the upcoming years.
Torin Dorn, a little hesitation move with the lay-in. He's led NC State in scoring of 5 of their first 8 games. And he really scores without a lot of effort, it seems. He makes it look easy.
He's just such a great athlete. If he gets the ball in transition, he's extremely hard to stop. I'll tell you what he's doing. Shooting the 3 ball extremely well, right at about a 50% clip.
6 to shoot. Kocher will try a deep 3. That's an air ball. Funderburk saved it under his own basket. Here comes Myers. Blew the lay-in. Gosselin will clean it up, though.
Western just hanging around there. You see a turnover by NC State, and Western converts with a 1-point game.
Tough drive from Markell Johnson. He was knocked down, and he was fouled, which will take us to our first media timeout. NC State leads by 1 here in Valvano Arena. We are back inside the newly designated James T. Valvano Arena. We are courtside here, Reynolds Coliseum. It was a great ceremony. If you didn't get a chance to watch it at the very beginning, alongside Chris Corciani, I'm Andrew Sanders. We're so glad you could join us here tonight. Chris, such a special night. You were a part of that ceremony. I'm sure you have plenty of great memories here. What's it like to be back here for the Heritage Game?
Hey, Andrew, just walking in here, I get excited, but being able to come back here and have NC State play a game on the night that they're dedicating the arena to not only a great coach, a great friend, to so many, not only the players, but to the fans and everybody in Wolfpack Nation. Just a very special night.
This venue, after the renovation a couple of years back, $35 million renovation. It's got air conditioning now, a whole lot more. It seats 5,500 people, and it is a packed house tonight. out of the timeout. Markel Johnson, a 50% three-point shooter on the year, misses, but there's another offensive rebound for the Wolfpack, and Devin Daniels is back at it again.
Second chance opportunities really hurting Western Carolina. There you see Lockett with a nice assist to the streaking Daniels.
Devin Daniels already with 6 of NC State's first 10 points. Ball not handled well by Halverson, and it's a 4-on-none. Torn throws it down.
That's what you gotta love there. Daniels could have made the 2, but he wanted to reward the senior Torn Dorn. You love seeing that.
This kind of atmosphere, you got a 4-on-none. You can't just lay it in.
No,
you got to get the dunk.
You got to go. But that's a big 3. Western needed that in corner.
And it's Matt Halverson, the sophomore guard off the bench. We told you about him, had 19 against Wake Forest. And Western Carolina really pushed the Demon Deacons all the way down to the wire. They need him tonight. Daniels has the hot hand early.
I tell you, Daniels has it going. And, you know, going into the season, everyone knew that Daniels was going to be the guy. He hasn't quite got it going yet, but it looks like tonight he's having a breakout game. Oh, beautiful here. He could have laid it in and rewarded Torn for running the floor. I told Western Carolina, they're in this game. They just need to limit their turnovers. And, you know, that's a key. As the game goes forward, how will they handle that pressure? NC State's got a couple easy looks because of the Western Carolina turnovers.
Braxton Beverly comes into the game as Markel Johnson takes a seat. Blake Harris also playing the guard position for NC State right now. Dotson over Funderburk, and he gets a nice roll.
I tell you, Dotson's undersized, but he's got great footwork when he gets the ball so low in the post.
He's got 5 of the Cats' 12. Oh, Blake Harris, nice move, the step back and the finish.
That's tough to guard. Blake with a real strong move, and then just stops on a dime, comes back to hit the short jumper.
Beverly gambled on the pass. Thomas able to break it into the front court. Jericho Helms, the freshman from St. Louis, on him. This is Gosselin in the corner, right in front of the Wolfpack bench. Bothered by Lockett, threw it away. A run out for the Wolfpack. Beverly behind the back to Helms.
I tell you, it's contagious when you start sharing the ball. Everybody gets involved, and there you see Beverly just with a wonderful pass for the layup.
Funderburk caught reaching on Dotson. That's his first.
Just a great pass. He saw Jericho Helms running, but that's the sign of a team that really likes one another when they're sharing the sugar, getting everybody else involved.
So Funderburk, who had a nice game against Vanderbilt, set a career high with 16 points. He'll head to the bench with the early foul, and Wyatt Walker comes back in. Halverson underneath, Steger with the pump fake, but he didn't pump fake Jericho Helms from the backside. They find Halverson, though, open wing 3, rattles in.
That was a good look by Dotson. He kind of had the ball in the low post, looked around, saw Halverson out top for the 3.
He's 2 for 2 from behind the arc. Touch pass from Beverly, reaching in with Steger. He'll be whistled for it. Steger, the junior from Upper Arlington, Ohio, charged with the foul. Dotson will get a quick breather and maybe a little gimpy as he makes his way over to the bench.
You can look at that view in the background, how gorgeous this place is. You mentioned earlier, this looks nothing like what I played in years ago. No air conditioning, not near as nice and renovated. It's just, if you get an opportunity, if you haven't been to see this arena, it's just first class, everything they've done.
8 on the shot clock. Harris finds an open Helms. This is a shot he can knock down, and he does.
Tell you, when he gets his feet set in rhythm, he's capable of knocking down those shots.
Wolfpack with a 7-point lead. Beverly got a tip to it, hits the floor first. It'll be Catamounts basketball, but the crowd appreciating the hustle here from Beverly.
Oh, that's awesome. just gets a deflection, but goes down, tries to keep it in bounds.
Back here in Raleigh, NC State leads by 7. A big reason why Devin Daniels has 9 points already, Chris.
Yeah, he's got it going often and early today, taking it on the deck. That mid-range game with Devin Daniels is very effective, and NC State needs him to be better and better every game. He had a slow start to the season, but everyone here at NC State knows what he's capable, and we're seeing that tonight.
4 of 5 from the floor for the transfer from Utah.
I'll tell you, the number that jumps out to me is the 5 assists of the 10 field goals, and that's a number that's really healthy. When you see a team that's really sharing the ball, it's always nice.
Chris, both of these teams not really having a problem scoring it right now. As we headed to that break, NC State has knocked down 6 straight from the floor. Western Carolina's made 4 of their last 5.
Yeah, they're shooting the ball well. Western is from the arc. Where Western needs to be careful is just taking care of the ball. You don't want NC State to get easy buckets off of turnovers.
I'll say this is a foul on the floor before the shot from Steger, trying to beat the shot clock, and it goes against Braxton Beverly, his first. And already 5 team fouls for the Wolfpack, just 2 for the visitors from Cullowhee. Halverson gets it in. This is a Gibson 3. Bounced up there on the rim a couple of times. NC State will always look to push it. Helms into the corner. The pass was deflected, or else he had Beverly in his spot.
But even on that pass right there, Helms could have taken it to the bucket. They always look to make the extra pass. It's real refreshing. I've seen a lot of NC State teams in the past that haven't done that, and there you see Helms just looking to find the open man. And
it's no surprise that you're a fan of the passing.
Well, when that's all you can do, then when you can't shoot, you got to pass.
Helm with a strong take, count the basket. And he's off to a great start. He's already got 7 points, Chris.
He's been real impressive, not only in this game, but in the early going of the season. Anything off the dribble, he's tough to guard. I tell you, he's got a nice, big, strong frame. When he gets the ball close to the basket, he uses his body well and can really score the ball.
Making the transition nicely from Chaminade High School here to NC State. Misses the free throw. Pretty good ball players coming out of that high school. Bradley Beal, and then he played a couple of years with Jason Tatum and won a state title.
That's a lot of talent right there you mentioned.
And Dotson trying to use that big frame. That's his first foul.
Yeah, I tell you, Walker does a great job here. He just stands his position, backs off a little, boom, takes the first one, flops on the second. I tell you, Walker does all the right things. You know, he doesn't force any shots on the offensive end, plays extremely good defense. He's been a lot better for this NC State team than I thought.
Wolfpack with its largest lead, up 9. Helms will take a contested 3 and left it short, and Gosselin might have even gotten a fingertip on that.
He needed to shoot the first one. You know, he hesitated, then he shot it the second time around. A lot of times you're in rhythm better the first time.
How about the move baseline from Dotson? He's got 7 now.
Hey, Dotson's got a lot of junk around the basket. There you see him with a nice reverse layup.
And Blake Harris starting to establish that might be his favorite shot, that little step back.
I tell you, that's hard to do because you're going full speed and you're stopping on a dime and making that shot. But he's got it down. He's got 2 of them already today.
Gosselin picked up his dribble, but he finds Cameron Gibson, a talented freshman.
Boy, that is some defense by Blake Harris, 35 feet from the basket.
Feed inside. It looked like a clean block up top. Who they got the foul on here? Braxton Beverly. If so, that's his second.
Yeah, Blake Harris a little late coming over for the help, and I think Braxton got him down low.
So Beverly will come out after this free throw from Dotson, but he's not the only one as he misses it. 5 new players in for Kevin Keats.
I tell you, that's a luxury that Coach Keats has is, he's playing 10 guys, and where you really see it is on the defensive end. This team gets after you 94 feet for 40 minutes, and you're able to do that when you have 10 guys and you do wholesale substitutions like you just saw.
We missed them both. It's a big reason why NC State scoring better than 32 points a game off the bench. Oh, that's pretty from Daniels.
It's just a great shot. He's got great balance when he goes. And, we've talked about this before, but he's capable of making very difficult shots.
How about that? The torrid shooting pace for NC State. 9 of their last 10. Markel Johnson just came into the game. Remember, he left with that 1 foul. Now he's got 2. So he joins Beverly with 2.
Yeah, you can tell Coach Keats not real happy with Markel reaching in, picking up his second. Now he's got Beverly and Markel, his 2 guys that run the show with 2. And you're not going to see both of them on the bench a lot at the same time, but that's the way it's going to be probably for the rest of the second half.
That's the 7th team foul for the Wolfpack. So Halverson will step to the line, shooting 1 and 1. 81% shooter on the year, makes the first. So maybe an opportunity now for Blake Harris to run the show.
Yeah, that's the fortunate thing. NC State's got so many perimeter players that they all can help out. Very interchangeable. Hey, Coach Prosser's got to be happy. In the game, down 9 points, team playing very well.
So Torin Dorn 3 off the heel. Thomas had to stop in his tracks, being marked by DJ Funderburk. Around a Dotson screen. And another 3-ball. Halverson had been 2 for 2. That won't fall. Dorn, strong move. And there's not much you can do about that if you're Mark Gosselin.
I tell you, Torin plays like he's much bigger. I mean, he's 6'4", plays like he's 6'7". Just a tremendous athlete when he gets the ball so low, close to the rim.
Dotson with the spin and a touch foul. Kevin Keats doesn't like that one. And that's the second on Funderburk now.
That's interesting. I tell you, guarding a lefty is always difficult. Here you see him put it down and go. Yeah, not a whole lot there for sure. You can understand why Coach Kevin Keats not real happy with that call.
So Dotson has had his way inside, but he hasn't gotten his way at the free throw line. He entered having taken more free throws than any other Catamount, 54 on the year, but he's under 54%.
Yeah, in games like this, you need to be able to convert at the charity stripe in order to stick around and try to make a game of it in the second half, which they did against Wofford. Took them to overtime.
Harris had to pick up his rule. Another fall away. And maybe NC State starting to cool off just a little bit. Had been 10 of their last 12 from the floor before that one.
The impressive thing about that, Andrew, is they were scoring in the half court. A lot of those points weren't necessarily in transition. And that's something, as they get into conference play, the game's going to slow down. You're going to have to score in the half court.
Daniels probing the defense, dicing down the lane for 2 and 1. Ten-point Wolfpack lead on the strength of the Daniels drive.
Here you see, we talked about Daniels making difficult shots. He just flips it up with his left hand, just a tremendous shot.
If you can, please donate to the V Foundation for Cancer Research at v.org/donate. We will have much more on the dedication here at James T. Valvano Arena and Bee Week during the halftime show. Back here with ACC legend Chris Corciani, my name is Andrew Sanders. The band is here wearing the stripes, 5,500 strong in attendance. This was a hot ticket to get, sold out crowd, and the energy in here has been palpable. There's no doubt the energy. This is just a special atmosphere. You know, having only 5,500 seats really makes it a ticket everybody wants to go. You know, there's only one game a year, and then the added excitement with the arena being named for Coach Jim Valvano. So Daniels can't finish off the three-point play. Wolfpack 10-point lead, but Dotson goes right down the middle to score. He's into double figures. I tell you, Dotson, he's something. He just knows how to play the game. He's undersized. He just doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, but he just gets it done. He's one of those guys that's hard to figure out. State gonna run the pick and roll. Walker underneath, left open, but instead Rice gets an open look at three, and he knocks it in. They have been on fire. NC State didn't shoot the ball this well in the first half. Western be in this game. Dotson. Got him. Yep. Got an early start there, and he traveled with a basketball. Right, he was anxious, a little too excited there. But I'll tell you, Dotson has had a big first half for the Catamounts. You know, that's the 6th turnover for Western Carolina, but really considering how many they give up and how many NC State forces, that's pretty good territory for them. I would say right now that Western's winning the turnover battle, you know, with having only 6. Great feed there by Blake Harris. Again, Wyatt Walker always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Offensive foul called on Dotson. That's his 2nd foul. Both of them have been on this end of the court. Yeah. Where Dotson gets himself in trouble is there. He extends his arm, and when you do that, the referee's going to see it every time. Blake Harris still running the show with Braxton Beverly and Markel Johnson both on the bench with those 2 fouls. That ball was kicked, I believe is the call. And right now, Ted Valentine, Ray Stein's going to get together and talk about resetting the shot clock, I believe. Don't need to. Right inside to Bryce. And it pops out. Rebound by Marcus Thomas. Strong take. Off the window and good. Cameron Gibson. Well, Gibson with a nice move. Really elevated on that shot. Kept it good balance with a good bucket. And a big block underneath. Walker had it wiped away. Foul on Blake Harris. So all of the NC State guards picking up fouls. Now that's just the first on Blake Harris. Nice move, elevates. Walker does a good job of going up vertical without fouling, but just a great shot there. Cameron Gibson can really score. He had 34 points at SMU in Dallas earlier this season. Now the sophomore from Mint Hill, North Carolina, Marcus Thomas, makes the first free throw. Western's doing exactly what they need to do. Just a 10-point game with the free throw here. It could go to 9, and that's what Coach Prosser said. He said he wanted to stick around. He wanted to be there in the second half, and so far they've done that. Against an NC State team that really made its mark in the early part of the year by just blowing teams out by halftime. Wow. Daniels continues to hit. Daniels got it going here a little bit. You know he's tough taking it off the dribble, but when he's hitting those threes, he's really difficult to guard. Chris, he's got 16 first half points. This is a definite coming out party for Devin Daniels. Gosselin puts the shoulder down, shovels it underneath the Myers, had it ripped away by Torin Dorn. Pack up 12, looking for more. Daniels all the way to the cup. That's about the only thing that hasn't fallen for him tonight.
A nice strong move, he just couldn't finish.
That was not touched by Daniels. Another Catamount turnover, make it 9.
You know, when Dotson's not in the game, they don't have that low post presence where they can just throw it in there to get a bucket. And there they just weren't on the same page with another turnover.
See Thomas coming out. Adam Sled will see the floor for the first time tonight as Gosselin also checks out momentarily. Josh Cottrell into the ball game as well. Daniels almost threw it away, but the wingspan from Helms saved it. Now he elevates, tries to go reverse, and he was hacked.
Okay, Helms just knows how to play back. He's a basketball player. Does everything well, makes a really difficult catch, head fake, puts it down, big, strong, good balance. He's going to be fun to watch here for the next few years for NC State.
He's really the prototypical guy that Kevin Keats wants to recruit with his size and athletic ability.
Exactly. You know, interchangeable type guys that are 6'6", 6'7", can shoot the ball, can play defense, can guard multiple positions. You know, that's a Kevin Keats type of player.
So after he makes the second free throw, NC State can pick up full court. This is Eric Lockett all over Halverson. Daniels with a quick closeout on him. Got a foul underneath. He goes against Helms, his first, and the team's 10th. So it'll be 2 free throws for Adam Sled. He's a junior out of Roanoke, Virginia, and the foul trouble is starting to mount here for Kevin Keats' team.
Well, that was one where Helms was in good position. He didn't need to make that foul. You could see Coach Keats and the staff not real happy with that. You never want to get a team that's down double digits, put them at the line for easy buckets.
Sled with a shaky miss on his first attempt. Looking right into the student section. He hit the backboard on both shots.
Wow.
The sight lines have been pretty good here in Reynolds Coliseum for an NC State team shooting 58%, but maybe not quite there on the free throws for Sled. Daniels another 3. Left it short. Sled a one-man press breaker, and then he dragged that pivot foot. 10 turnovers for Western Carolina. NC State leads it by 13. Final media timeout of the first half. Back here in William Neal Reynolds Coliseum, K-Yow Court, James T. Valvano Arena with Chris Corciani. I'm Andrew Sanders. Again, this was going to be what we were looking at all night. Western Carolina, almost 19 turnovers per game. Just to keep in mind, they're 351st, Chris. There's only 353 teams in Division I. So one of the worst in the country at turnovers, and right now they've got 10, but maybe even bigger for NC State. The Wolfpack have only committed 2 turnovers.
Yeah, you know, that's a big number. We talked about that earlier, that was going to be a key to this game. And early on, Western took care of the ball, but here, the latter part of the first half, they've turned it over. 10's too many to have, especially if you want to come in to an arena and try to steal a game.
Torin Dorn with a tough shot. It won't drop. Daniels hustling for it, and did he step on the baseline? He did. Now, also, to be fair to Western Carolina, sometimes stats like that can be heavily skewed because you don't have a big sample size. You know, this is just their 10th game of the year. They had 35 turnovers against Jacksonville State, so that's going to make that number look a little worse than it normally would be. Just a nightmare of a game.
Sure, and I talked to Coach Prosser. That was a big concern. How do we handle NC State's pressure? You know, so far, you know, they did a good job early, but you can't give NC State the easy runouts, and they've had some of those here the first half.
Gibson picked his dribble up. Instead, they kick it around. Halverson, this is an NBA range three, and it rattled around.
He didn't miss that by much. That was in and out and looked like it was going back in again.
That's just the 9th three taken by Western Carolina because of the turnovers. They've also gotten to the free throw line a good bit here with the 10 fouls from NC State. Devin Niels will get a nice hand here.
Yep. It's had a real strong first half. Interesting for Western. Dotson's back in. Final 3 minutes. You know, they think that they need to try to get this below double digits in order to have a shot in the second half.
We've seen how the Catamounts has struggled with him offensively, not on the court. And I'm going to ask you next possession, do you feel like you have to go inside and go at him?
Wow, looked like he might have got hit on that one.
What a catch from Lockett, and he missed the lay-in. Helms hits the floor. Dotson picks it up. Well, sloppy on both ends. Thomas very patiently uses the glass. Well done.
Nice move, got all the way deep in the lane. Little baby head fake and was able to bank it in.
Walker passing inside to Dorn, and for a big man, he sees the court so well.
Yeah, it was interesting. They actually went into Walker. Probably
now Dorn picks the pocket of Gibson, and that might be an intentional foul. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
No, they were on that last offensive possession for NC State. They went inside with Dotson having 2 fouls. There you see Torrin Dorn with a great defensive play, and then the athleticism shows a little strength. But really nice of to Gibson grabs him to avoid the intentional.
So it's just a 1-and-1 here for Dorn. So after the turnover, it doesn't hurt Western Carolina at all. They're only down 13 here. Chance maybe to knock down a couple of shots and close out the half on a high note. Travel by Mark Gotslin. And he's visibly frustrated.
Yeah, I've been impressed with NC State's defense. You know, they play it consistent. You know, they get after it. They play hard. All 5 guys are on the same page on the defensive end.
Bryce feeling out the defense, kicks to Dorn. Shot clock down to 10. Dorn created all kinds of space there. That's usually a shot he'll knock down. Helms somehow got in there, long wingspan to tip it out. Gosselin with an offensive rebound. As we go under a minute. Gibson hops, skipping a jump down the lane and finishes.
I tell you, they are hustling out there the last minute. Down 10, good ball movement. And Western not giving up here in the first half at all.
Walker trying to go right into the chest of Dotson. No look, bounce pass to Helms. He's trapped in the corner, finds an outlet in Bryce. Shot clock winding down. Bryce able to square those shoulders midair.
I'll tell you, Bryce with a great shot. I'll tell you, Bryce and Daniels both like feeling a little contact. It's like they're almost more comfortable when they feel the defender's body and able to score.
And Torrin Dorn will be called for a hip check here.
Fans don't like it, but yeah, Torrin definitely got him so far away from the basket. He's in good position here. He just gets him with his knees. Not a need for that.
Just the first foul on Dorn. 2 shots now for the freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio, and Gibson pours in the first. Here comes DJ Myers back into the game.
Prosser takes Dotson out with the 2 fouls with 12 seconds.
Yeah, good move.
Doesn't want any silly ones from his star.
So NC State should have the last possession here. We'll see if they just leave it in the hands of C.J. Bryce. Guy who can create his own shot, looks to Kevin Keats, and now he calls a timeout.
So you can see Coach Keats talking to C.J. Bryce. He doesn't want a timeout with 4.6 seconds. He wants it with 7 or 8. It's hard to draw up a play, but you could see Keats wasn't happy that he didn't get that timeout sooner. Yeah,
so if you're going to call the timeout, you definitely want to get it in and hustle up to half court. So timeout, NC State. Coach Keats and the Wolfpack will return to action Saturday, December 15th, as they travel to Atlantic City for the Boardwalk Classic and a matchup with Penn State. First tip from Jersey is 2 o'clock on ESPNU. So the Wolfpack already with 1 neutral court win as they beat Vanderbilt 80-65 down in Miami. Now they go to Atlantic City, and another opportunity for the Wolfpack to get some post-game ice cream.
So those are important games. You know, you think about it in March, those are the games you're going to talk about. You're going to win so many in the regular season conference, but what are you going to do with those non-conference games? The Auburn game that's coming up, and a tough shot there by Blake Harris. Thought he got hit.
And that will take us to half. NC State leading by 12, 45-33. Chris, despite all the foul trouble, especially for the guards, Braxton Beverly, Markel Johnson, the facilitators for this Wolfpack offense, they still score 45 points.
Yeah, they've got high-octane offense. You know, they've gotten a good lift from Devin Daniels. This team can score points and they can play defense, but it's not coming from the usual suspects.
All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. A special night here in Raleigh, James T. Valvano Arena. We'll show you more about the dedication coming up in a few. It's halftime here in the city of Oaks. NC State leads Western Carolina 45-33 here at the halftime break. Hello, everybody. We welcome you back courtside alongside Chris Corciani. I'm Andrew Sanders. Chris, we saw a good first half. Both teams able to shoot above 50%. Scoring was up.
Yeah, shooting wasn't the problem. Both teams extremely hot. Where the problem was for Western is they turned the ball over a little bit too much, and NC State converted on the other end. But Western Carolina has to be happy with Dotson, their star player, sitting on the bench a lot the first half.
Yeah. We'll get a look now at some highlights from first half action, and the main story for NC State on the offensive end, Devin Daniels getting the start, and boy did he ever get started early. 7 of 10 from the floor and 16 points.
He was scoring early and often in a lot of different ways, pulling up mid-range, hitting a couple threes. Just a big first half for Devin Daniels.
And for Western Carolina, the 2 guys that we talked about at the open of the show. First, for Carlos Dotson, he showed a wide array of moves underneath.
He's got great versatility, really scores a number of different ways. Hard to guard. You know, lefties are always tough to guard.
And Matt Holverson, you know the scouting report on him, dead-eye shooter, he showed that.
Knocked down a number of threes in the first half. You know, handled the ball, fairly well. He's going to have to do that in order for Western to have an opportunity here in the second half.
Get a look at the first half stats, and obviously the turnover disparity is big, but really those turnovers didn't really hurt Western Carolina in terms of NC State live ball turnovers.
You know, when you look at those 12 turnovers, Andrew, those are actually good turnovers. They're turnovers where NC State hasn't been able to get down the court and convert for easy buckets.
But I think where it did play a factor is when you look at the number of field goals taken, NC State took 17 more shots.
Yeah, it's hard to beat a team no matter what percentage you shoot.
Yeah.
When you only shoot 22 times in the first half and the other team shoots 39. So a huge advantage having more shots as NC State 20 for 39 in the first half.
All right, we've got to step aside here for a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. On the other side, we've got some very special video for you involving the legendary Coach Valvano.
laugh, you think, and you cry. That's a full day. That's a heck of a day. You do that 7 days a week, you're gonna have something special.
I'm a dreamer. I have big dreams.
That's power. That's power.
And I always have to think about what's important in life is to think, to me, of three things: where you started, where you are, and where you're going to be.
Dreams come true at NC State. Dreams become reality at NC State.
Wittenberg! Oh, that's a long way! They won it! On the dunk!
The idea of never, ever quitting. Don't ever quit out.
This was the scene earlier tonight in Reynolds Coliseum and the newly dedicated James T. Valvano Arena. Very special ceremony, getting a 7:20 tip tonight because this ceremony occurred at 7 o'clock. You can see the emotion from Chucky Brown. Chris, you were a part of that ceremony as well. What was that individual moment like for you?
Just special. I mean, first of all, it's wonderful NC State has done this. To share the court with Kay Yao and now James T. Valvano Arena. Just a special feeling. Very happy for Pam, his wife, all his kids, all the fans, and the ex-players. Just a wonderful ceremony.
Yeah, we get some great stills here of Coach V. You had the opportunity to play for him. What was that like? What was he like in the locker room as a coach?
I tell you, there's just so many different emotions and memories that run through my mind. Obviously, knowing what a great coach and how much charisma he had, everybody knows that. But what a lot of people don't realize is just how smart and well-rounded Coach V was in so many different ways. It didn't matter if it was talking about the Civil War, if it was the stock market. It didn't matter what aspect of life. He had so much knowledge. He was so fun to be around.
And you were a big-time player coming out of high school. Everybody knows he had a larger-than-life personality. What was that like being recruited by him, and what made you, what was part of his pitch? What got you to NC State?
Well, I wanted to play in this environment that we're seeing tonight, but when Coach V would come recruit me, he'd come to the door, and I'd be all excited, and he'd say, listen, you go back to your room, you do your schoolwork. I'm talking to your dad because I know you're not making the decision, your dad is. So he was a smart recruiter and knew who to get to.
Unbelievable speech, obviously, from the ESPYs that you should watch every single year. I know I do. Laugh, think, cry. And we've got some information for you. Of course, the Jimmy V Cancer Foundation, they've raised hundreds of millions of dollars to fight that terrible disease. And if you all want to donate, and if you are able to donate, please do. You can do it v.org/donate, and all donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. .45-33, NC State leads Western Carolina here at half team. Mark Prosser in his first year has got his Catamounts back on the floor. Chris, what are the keys for them here down 12 at half?
Well, I think at halftime, Coach Prosser probably said, listen, we're doing a good job on the boards. We're actually out-rebounding NC State 20-15. Where we've got to do a better job is we turn the ball over 12 times, and that's something Coach Prosser is going to want to clean up here in the second half.
Pretty remarkable considering NC State 6th in the country coming in, plus 13 on the boards, but they're -5 here at the half. We'll see if that changes at all in the second half. For Coach Keats, this team is in a familiar position. They're 7-1 on the year. They've led at halftime in every contest this year. What's the key for them?
You know, they need more of the same. You know, they want to get out and run and create more easy opportunities. They got a nice little boost from Daniels and for Helms, but they'd like to be able to see Markel and Braxton Beverly get it going here in the second half.
Markel Johnson exploded for a monster second half and basically put the team on his back, carrying them to victory down in Miami over Vanderbilt. NC State led wire to wire in the contest, but 6:40 left, just a 2-point game. NC State didn't have a lot going offensively, and Markel Johnson scored 15 points over a 4-minute span. That includes 12 straight. And how about this, Chris? 3 seconds in, an unforced error, you would say in tennis, a travel.
Yeah, you just can't make that type of play in order to try to compete and beat NC State here in the second half. You're just a very unforced error. And Coach Prosser not happy looking at him on the sidelines. Not the way they wanted to start.
There wasn't a white uniform on that side of the court at all. It's just an inbounds pass. Can't say I've seen that one before. Johnson was saddled with 2 fouls, sat on the bench for most of the first half, and now we've got an offensive foul on Wyatt Walker, I believe, setting the screen. That's his second.
We saw some good offensive first half, but here in the first 15 seconds, we've got 2 turnovers.
And good offense has been a part of this series. NC State and Western Carolina doing battle for the 15th time. NC State a perfect 14-0. They've played 11 times in this building, and NC State has scored triple digits, 100 or more in 8 of those contests. And in fact, in the 11 Reynolds games, Chris, NC State's averaging almost 102 points per game. As Thomas, with another turnover, he throws this one over Dotson's head, airmails it.
Yeah, they're at 14 turnovers now, but that's 2 possessions that they didn't even get a chance to score. You know, so think about that for a second. When you're turning it over, you're not even getting a shot up with an opportunity for points.
It was a strong take from Johnson. I think he was trying to score, and the defense was so strong, changed his mind last second. He threw it away. So both teams, we've got offensively, from what we saw in the first half, it hasn't been the story here in the second.
4 turnovers combined for both teams in the first 43 seconds.
And this is what NC State did against Vanderbilt when they were in control for all of that game, but it was a really sloppy start. 5 turnovers in the first handful of possessions against Vanderbilt that put them into trouble that Johnson had to bail them out of.
Yeah, he certainly did. He came on strong in the second half and just, as you mentioned, totally took over that game with his scoring, and that's been a little different.
Another foul on Wyatt Walker, another one away from the ball. And the fans here in Reynolds, they'll always let you know what they think. They're not fans of this one.
Well, that's one you got to, in soccer they say play on. That's one where you just need to let the players play.
Give advantage to the Catamounts. So Walker picks up back-to-back fouls. He's got 3. He's on the bench. Dotson went right into the chest of Funderburk. Loose ball pops all the way out to Steger. Gosselin to Gibson, and another board. It's Dotson. He misses it. So 3 tries for Western Carolina. They're getting the shots up on that possession.
That was one that Dotson wishes he had back.
Another Wolfpack turnover, and once again a player getting up in the air, didn't know where to go with the basketball. Gosselin, he's got a size advantage here. He uses the elbow. That's going to be an offensive foul. Ted Valentine saw that one from a mile away.
I tell you, I don't think either coach can be real happy to the start of the second half. In the first 2 minutes, it's been sloppy on the offensive end for both teams.
Still looking for our first score here in the second half. It has been 2 minutes of turnovers. And Daniels staying aggressive. Why not? 16 points in the first half. Just stick with it. He'll go to the line.
When you've got it going, especially like Daniels did in the first half, you just want to be aggressive. And on that play, he just caught it, didn't think, just put his head down, got all the way to the rim.
It's Cameron Gibson's second foul. So we were talking at halftime, Chris, NC State had just the 2 turnovers in the first half. We've already got 3 here in the second.
Yeah. That's not good. You like that number 2 at halftime when you're looking at the stat sheet. Coach Keats was like, I like that, but not the 3 early turnovers they've had.
So we see some productivity, and Gosselin, did he get the timeout in time? Yes, he did. He was running up against the 5-second count. So timeout, Catamounts. It's been a sluggish start here in the second half. We'll be back in just a minute. Wes Moore and the 10th ranked NC State Wolfpack women return to Reynolds Coliseum Saturday, December 15th, as they host the Maine Black Bears. Jim Valvano statue outside here of Reynolds Coliseum and outside of now Valvano Arena. Cameron Gibson double team, dribbled it off of his shoe.
Just another unforced error by Western. Again, you know, they're only down 14. If they didn't have these turnovers, you know, who knows where we'd be.
Dorn's been pretty quiet, at least in the first half. He gets an early start in the second half.
Torin Dorn is hard to guard. Good pass to Markel, always with the spin. He's got just strong. I mean, being a senior, he just knows how to play and scores in so many different ways.
That was the third foul on Mark Gosselin. He stays in the ball game. Halverson almost threw it away. Markel Johnson anticipating that pass. Gibson trying to dive down the lane, sealed off. Picked up his dribble, finds an outlet, not a good pass. Threw it at the shoelaces of Dodson. Gets it back, 8 to shoot. Gosselin puts his head down, pump fakes, shoots over top of Dorn with one, and that's just a good defensive possession.
Yeah, it was good, strong defense. This is the point in a lot of games where the better team ends up taking off. They've got a little bit more depth, and look to see if NC State doesn't start pulling away here.
Devin Daniels having himself a game, 21 points.
Daniels is just playing with so much confidence. You can just see the look on his face. He wants the ball, looking to score.
Corner three, Steger off the mark. That's his shot. 70% of his shots actually come from outside the arc. We'll see what Daniels does here, maybe a heat check. He's going to slow things down. Markel Johnson, 50% on the year, knocks it in. NC State is 50% in this game. They're 6 of 12.
Back-to-back three-pointers by NC State, and yet another turnover by Western Carolina.
You see the reaction from Kevin Keats. 17 Catamount turnovers now.
You know, that's the way Coach Keats wants to play. He wants to put pressure on the opponent for 40 minutes, and they've been successful with that in the early season of the year.
Daniels with that last three has now set an NC State career high. He had 20 against UNC Asheville, but now 21 here against Western Carolina. Just 3 points shy of his career high. Funderburk took the contact. That's a blocking foul on Ano Steger, his third.
It's a good call here. Not quite, Steger's not quite set. Quick dribble, has a chance, but just not quite set.
And maybe some NC State fans in this arena holding their breath anytime they know there's going to be a block charge call after you watch the ACC Big Ten Challenge game. I know Funderburk finds a dunk inside on a nice feed from Markel Johnson. But a lot was made of that nationally, and the 5 charges being drawn by Ben Davison. I wanted to know your thoughts on that.
Well, I just thought a lot of those plays are 50-50, and you know, they can go either way, but when there's 5 that go against you, a lot of times it just doesn't seem like it's the right call.
Matt Halverson finds the answer, and boy, did they need that bucket. Those are the first points for Western Carolina here in the second half. Cuts the pack lead to 21. Johnson throwing the lob. Funderburk had it bounce all over the rim and doesn't fall.
That was just a great look by Markel Johnson. It looks like Funderburk really didn't think that that pass was going to get there. But those are the kind of things you work on now, and as the season progresses, you get better at it.
Halverson, nice feed. Dotson rejected by C.J. Bryce.
Here you see Markel splits the defense. Great pass. Funderburk flushes it down, the easy deuce. I tell you, I was blessed to play with someone like Rodney Monroe. Not only Rodney, but all my great teammates. And, you know, also I was so fortunate to play in Reynolds Coliseum, and then lastly, to have the opportunity to spend 3 of my 4 years with Coach Jimmy V. You know, those are just times that you can't really, understand how valuable that is until you're removed from it. But had great teammates, great coaches, and great fans. It was just a wonderful ride.
You guys had a pretty famous poster cover that you were on.
Back 57-36, NC State with the commanding lead. They've come out here in the second half and taken charge of the game. Dotson's going to go to line for 2. He's Western Carolina's leading scorer and can do it in so many different ways with a big first half. Wholesale substitutions. Coach Kevin Keats, 5 in and 5 out, keeping the fresh legs, especially for the defensive end. I tell you, they've struggled at the foul line. Between the foul shots and the turnovers, it's been a tough night for the Catamounts. Great look by Blake Harris. And I tell you, Wyatt Walker knows how to finish when he gets the ball that deep. Uses that big, strong body, but give Blake Harris credit on that nice pass. We're going to get Braxton Beverly for being a little bit late on that one. There you see the nice slip pass. Wow, appeared that Braxton was there. But doesn't get the call. It didn't appear that he was outside or inside the circle. A lot of times you'll see a referee indicate that the player is inside the circle, but that didn't seem to be the case. Dotson's going to get his second at the line. He's struggled from the free throw line, but he's had a nice floor game. Rebound and scoring for the Catamounts. Okay, Braxton Beverly with a nice drive to the lane, but can't finish. NC State would really love to see Braxton Beverly get his offensive game in shape. He has struggled ever since the early injury to his arm. Yet another turnover for Western Carolina. Blake Harris seeing a lot of time at the point in this game due to Braxton Beverly and Markel Johnson in early foul trouble. NC State with only 10 players dressed out, but they all get in the game, plenty of time, and enables them to really play with effort on the defensive end. Beverly with the big three. The NC State faithful really want to see him get going. And a lot of times you knock down a three, it opens up that rim, makes it a lot bigger. He just knows how to score. Dotson gets the ball down there low and can finish. Got a big wide body. Wyatt Walker doing all he can, but Dotson converts. 62-40, NC State with a 22-point lead with 12:45 left. Long three by Beverly wasn't able to go. And that's got to be an intentional. Yep. Helms went down hard. Just a really nice defensive play. Helms gets in the passing lane, makes the strip steal, takes it down with authority. Yeah, never a doubt about that call. They're the ones where you just hope the offensive player doesn't get hurt. If you're going to foul like that, just grab them. Helms had a big game, hasn't done a whole lot wrong, just struggling at the foul line a little bit. There you go. (63-40). NC State with a commanding lead here in the second half. Had a good look on the run out. Halverson wasn't able to convert the easy bucket with the defender running them down. He just knows how to score. He's a workhorse in there. They find him down low. Just gets good low post position. And again, I don't know what it is, but guys that are left-handed always create all kind of problems. I had to guard a guy named John Crotty at the University of Virginia, and he used to just give me nightmares. I couldn't guard him. He was a lefty, herky-jerky, tough to guard. But Dotson knocks down his first free throw. Dotson only 6'5", but plays like he's 6'8", 6'9". We're going to get Thomas Marcus on the foul. I'm sorry, Marcus Thomas on the foul. It's his 7th team foul. I'm going to put NC State in the bonus. For Coach Prosser on Western Carolina, you know, this is the kind of game where you just want to keep getting better, improving, keep fighting. You didn't come to Raleigh really with an idea that you were going to win the game, but you want to have a good, strong performance. Here in the next few weeks, you've got conference play. And, you know, as Coach Prosser said when I spoke to him earlier, he just said, listen, we're getting better. We're making progress. It's not showing in the record, but we're getting there. And he was so gracious talking about this arena and what it meant to him. And they're just happy to play here and have an opportunity. NC State playing the way they want to play with full court pressure. And Western Carolina with another turnover. That's 21 turnovers for the Catamounts. And that is not a recipe that Coach Prosser wants to see going forward. Wow. Good look. Lockett with the lob inside to Wyatt Walker. Walker wasn't able to finish. That's his fourth foul. NC State.
Back here on the campus of NC State. We are back, and I am back. Had some audio issues, but we're good to go now with Chris Corciani. I'm Andrew Sanders. Chris, how'd it go?
Did I miss anything? I don't know where. Oh gosh, I am happy you're back. That is a lot harder than I ever anticipated.
Some people listening probably not so happy that I got a microphone back, but I apologize to those people. But I'm going to try my best the rest of the way here. Wyatt Walker makes the free throw. So we got to look there at the Hall of Fame, which is attached to the court here. And what a job they did with that Hall of Fame. You see 1974, 1983 teams honored, and not just those teams. Obviously, so much basketball history, which you were a huge part of.
Well, it's the basketball history, but it's the history of NC State athletics. And if you haven't had an opportunity to go check it out, it's gorgeous. It's like a museum that you can walk through, and there's some interactive things as well. It's just a first-class building that NC State has on their campus.
10 turnovers for the Catamounts in the second half alone. They're up to 22 for the game. Braxton Beverly.
I tell you, I know Braxton's trying to get it going on, but he just needs to let it happen, let it flow. You know, he's taken a couple rush three-pointers here in the second half.
Steger's three is short, strong, two-handed rebound by Wyatt Walker. You know, he trimmed that beard not very long ago, but he's already got it working on another one. Helms is left open in the corner, count it.
I tell you, Helms doesn't play like a freshman. He plays like a seasoned veteran. He's very smooth in everything he does, and he's shooting the ball at a very high percentage.
Just getting the ball in. A difficulty for Western Carolina right now, but they break the pressure. Dotson goes in hard, fouled by Wyatt Walker. That's 4 on the big guy.
It looked like Walker was in good position, but Dotson's so crafty and smart, very unique the way he plays. The kick ahead pass to him, and it looks like Walker's in good position, almost like Dotson throws his hands and bodies into Walker, but he'll get 2 free throws.
Dealing with the student section with all the cardboard cutouts behind the glass. Dotson struggled from the line tonight, but he gets that one to fall. He is now 6 of 12 from the line, and Kevin Keats maybe been talking coaching ideas with Rod Brindamore. He brings 5 new guys in.
That's a luxury to have. I tell you, he met that 5 at a half court and high-fived all 5 players as they exited. You know, up almost 30 here. He's got to be happy.
So on the floor right now for the Pack, Markel Johnson handling the point guard duties, Torin Dorn, C.J. Bryce, Devin Daniels, and DJ Funderburk. Here comes the lob. Dorn let go of the rim. They let play continue. Myers came away with the ball, and he was fouled.
Yeah, NC State got away with one there. You can't hang on the rim the way Torin Dorn did.
Mark Prosser is trying to get an explanation for Ted Valentine right here.
Yeah, you can't do that. Torin goes up for the dunk. Holds on, comes down with the rebound, but taken away.
And I think right there, Ted Valentine is saying, because for player, you can't just hang on the rim, but if it's a player safety issue in which there was some traffic underneath Torin Dorn, but then when the ball actually made contact with him, I think that's where you blow it dead.
Right, I'm not sure. I never had that problem when I was playing because I was
Sure.
never even close to the rim to worry about traffic underneath me.
DJ Funderburk is left wide open. His second 3 of the year.
Well, he's got a smooth stroke. Again, Markel Johnson with a great job distributing to the open Thunderbird with the sweet three-pointer.
Wolfpack up 30. Halverson traveled.
Here you see Markel take the defense to the middle, dumps it off to the big, sweet shooter Thunderbird. He's got a real nice soft touch.
NC State in control, looking for more here with Markel Johnson running the show. He'll try a three. Dotson rips the board away from Steger. He'll bring it up the court. Why not? Puts a move on Thunderbird, full head of steam, and he loses it. Run out for the Wolfpack. Markel Johnson will take it himself.
Wow.
Offensive foul.
Tell you, Markel Johnson doing it both on the offensive end with the slam dunk and then there on the defensive end drawing the charge. I tell you, Andrew, this looks fun. He jumps way out. That's just a great athletic move. An easy bucket by Johnson.
Crowd fully engaged here at Valvano Arena. Reynolds Coliseum in the Heritage game. And an offensive foul back the other way. Torin Dorn charged with it. Just his second.
I think both teams a little excited playing in this crowd. You know, NC State turned the ball over a little bit too much here in the second half for Coach Keats' liking as well.
Trap for the Wolfpack. Dorn strips him. Wolfpack defense just relentless here. Gibson breaks the pressure. Dotson looks inside to Thomas, and that's how you break the pressure. And then Thomas with a steal. He'll try a three. That would about 5 of the fastest points you've ever seen. Carrying called on C.J. Bryce.
This is the way NC State wants to play, with the steal in the corner and Dorn with the slam.
We were talking to Torin Dorn before the game. It's his third time here playing in Reynolds, so he maybe knows a little bit more of what to expect as compared to most of the players in this game on both sides.
Right, he said he loved it. He said, I love the atmosphere. This is something that you know, all the players look forward to playing one game in Reynolds a year.
Halverson catch and shoot. He doesn't need much space or much time.
He does. He's got really a quick release, and he's hit a bunch of these here in the ball game.
Johnson beats him on the dribble drive and is fouled. Steger was in there with some help defense, but it's Halverson who is whistled for it. Just his second. Halverson, by the way, he's got 14 points now.
He doesn't need a whole lot of room. He catches the ball and is up, and he's looking to shoot. You know, there's some guys that play that don't look to score. Halverson's one of those guys that he hunts for that three-point shot because he's such a capable shooter.
Johnson gets 1 of 2. NC State has missed 6 free throws tonight, 15 attempts. Oh, Halverson, that was just a dangerous move. Big block from Steger. Jump ball is called, possession arrow to NC State. A little fortunate really for Halverson that that ball wasn't taken away initially and it kind of got to the second level.
Right, this, you know, again, it's unfortunate. Here you see Markel, he threw it just a little bit too high, or Torin would have been able to convert that. But, you know, NC State, this is a style. They're relentless. And I know when I was playing, Andrew, I didn't want to have a guy up on me the whole game. And that's the way NC State plays. I mean, they don't take breaks off. Every possession is nothing but full court pressure.
for a guy that was known as a passer last year, that's an unbelievable move.
Oh, yeah. No, he's, again, I think this team, NC State, is really effective, and they can play at a much higher level when Markel Johnson's looking to score. Great passer, don't get me wrong, but when he's scoring, they go to another level.
NC State 80 points, 8 minutes to go. And Funderburg traveled. So with the turnover, takes us to break. But NC State 80 points on the night. The defense fueling the offense.
Nice strip steal, and Torin Dorn with the flush. I'll tell you again, those guys make it look easy. Slam dunk.
ESPN and the ACC bring you ACC Network coming August 2019. 15 universities, all on one network. Visit getaccn.com to learn more. Those are some special shoes here on a special night. Those got to be custom made.
Yeah, those are awful nice. That suit is first class, and it was really good to see Coach Kevin Keats. He tweeted out this week. He said, "Let's turn Reynolds red," and you know, he does a great job with the student body and what they do after road wins with going to get ice cream. He just, you know, it's hard not to embrace a coach like that.
I think both of these coaches enter this contest such great reputations. I remember a few years ago, I went to work a game down in Wilmington, and everyone that you talked to involved with the program just raved about Coach Keats. And just tremendous character on top of being a great X's and O's coach.
Yeah, you know, the thing about him, he's a competitor. I mean, he wants to win. It doesn't matter what it is. He wants to win. He wants to be the best. And he's doing a great job here in the second year. But the same goes for Coach Prosser. Comes from a great long history. His father was one of the great all-time coaches at Wake Forest. And he's going to get the Catamounts on the right track. It's just going to take him some time to get his players in there.
Big rebound from Funderburg. Just too long for Dotson. Johnson hesitating, changing directions.
Smart move by Markel. You know, plenty of time on the shot clock. Could have forced one up. He just pulled it back out and take the shot clock down.
Whistle underneath, and no signal has been made yet. Ball's going to stay on this end, evidently.
Teddy Valentine blew his whistle, and I think both teams just stood around, didn't know what the call was going to be. But for NC State, they're fortunate to get Funderburg on the line.
So the foul goes against Dotson, his third. Funderburg makes the first. Yeah, Western Carolina, when they made the hire, Coach Mark Prosser, they said, we don't feel like we got a guy. We got the guy, the perfect guy for the job.
He was a hot coach, and a lot of teams were interested in. And I just really think that, and just talking with him earlier today, he's really going to get Western Carolina going. It's not easy to come in as a new coach, a new program. You know, the kids have to learn your system of what you want, and it takes coaches sometimes 3-4 years to be able to get their recruits that they want, their system in place. And I just think he's going to have them on here real soon.
Well, they already took Wake Forest down to the wire. I'm a little bit surprised. I know NC State has been awfully good so far this season. And Beverly takes a steal. He's got help with him. Harris, the lob to Funderburg, and he was hacked by Goslin from behind. That's 5 on Mark Goslin, and he saved a highlight right there.
Well, no doubt about it. But here you see Beverly with the steal, the behind-the-back pass, and hey, how about one more? That's what you got to love. And then they're all smiling and laughing. You know, they're sharing the ball, and it becomes contagious. And that's something Coach Kevin Keats and the NC State staff must really be proud of.
So Gosselin fouls out with 6:36 left. Now, but getting back to, you know, this scoreline, NC State, Ken Pom has them as the 25th best team in the country right now. But Western Carolina, I know Wake Forest has struggled. I know they lost to Houston Baptist, but they were tied with them in Winston-Salem with 1 minute to go. Ended up losing that game. Then they took Furman next time out. This was just on Saturday. As Gosselin hears it from the crowd. They took Furman to double overtime down in Greenville, South Carolina, and Furman is in the AP Top 25 poll. They beat Villanova.
Furman's a nice team that a lot of people, you know, are learning how good they are and what kind of program that's become. But, you know, that's why Coach Prosser said, listen, you know, it doesn't show in our record, but we are getting better. We are making strides both offensively and defensively. I don't think that he could be real happy with his team's effort and the way they turned the ball over and played tonight. But again, they'll go back to Coliseum and they'll regroup and they'll get better.
Strong take from Gibson. And that is just the first foul on Lockett. Gibson quickly quiets the students rooting for chicken here as part of a promotion. He's just a 64% shooter, so the students maybe if they, you know, they knew the scouting report, might have thought he was a prime candidate to give them a free chicken sandwich, but instead he makes both. Why Walker does it so easily.
I'll tell you, that's just it's a great spin move, but he's really looking to pass and not score. Just a really smart player and the kind of guy you want to play with. I mean, Walker does a little bit of everything, doesn't take any bad shots. He's just a joy to play with. Here you see him with a nice spin to the baseline, slip bounce pass for the easy deuce.
So the teams trade turnovers in the blink of an eye there, thrown away, but then Harris walked with it. And Steger will bring the ball up. Pushed by Beverly along the baseline, and that's 4 fouls on Braxton Beverly. He's had a tough night tonight, just 3 points, 1 assist.
He's too good a player. I mean, Braxton Beverly showed last year that he's one of his elite guards that is not only in the ACC, but he's going to become one of the best in the country, and he just hasn't been able to get over the hump. He had the early injury to his wrist, and he is 1 game away from really getting it going for NC State.
Steger gets a chorus of boos for having solid fundamentals. Splash from Blake Harris. NC State continues to shoot it well from outside. 10 of 20 from deep. Harris all over Halverson.
He's just blanking them. That's as good a defense as you're going to see.
And a tough move from Dotson, that left hook. Turns over that right shoulder. And he's so wide, if you're not several inches taller than him, there's nothing you can do with that.
You know, a lot of people don't understand a big guy like Dotson that has such wide shoulders. I mean, it's such a huge advantage. Again, he looks like he's only 6'5", but he plays like he's 6'8" or 9. And a lot of that has to do with the width of his shoulders.
Cameron Gibson becomes the second Catamount to foul out here.
The crowd is having a good time. They like the old when a guy fouls out, and they also like rooting for the chicken. I think we're going to hear that a few more times, Andrew. Have you been able to take advantage of that yet?
I have
the
one
free
time.
Chicken? Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
have.
Good for you.
Harris gets the Wolfpack to 90 here, and he just picks Halverson's pocket. All alone, Blake Harris with 7 points.
I'm going to tell you,
in the last, minute?
He's one of the best on-the-ball defenders that I've seen. I mean, it's every play, doesn't take it off.
Kick out 3. Thomas has all kinds of time, and he buries it. By the way, that steal, Chris, for Blake Harris, the 30th turnover for Western Carolina.
Yeah.
Helms an offensive board. With control on Harris.
I tell you, Harris playing with a lot more confidence tonight. Just really slip pass to Walker. You just look on a guy's face, and Blake Harris out there tonight just with a lot of confidence in his game.
Walker with a sheepish grin looking towards the NC State bench because he didn't dunk it cleanly. Halverson finger rolls it back the other way.
Yeah, there's no quitting Halverson. He keeps going at it. It's been a tough night for the Catamounts, but he's playing hard with less than 4 minutes to go.
Fans want Beverly to shoot it even from out there. Blake Harris was his own 7-0 run in the last couple of minutes, Chris.
There you see him pick the pocket of Halverson in the easy slam at the other end. Just great defensive effort by Blake Harris.
Chris, Devin Daniels has 5 points in his second half, but he's really been the player of the game for NC State because he had 16 at halftime.
No question, he took over early in the game and scored in a variety of different ways, but he's been real efficient on 8 of 12 shooting.
He's knocked down 3 threes. He's also added 4 rebounds. And he's a guy that NC State, along with C.J. Bryce, some transfers with experience, similar type players, they need to be able to rely on them. It doesn't have to be both of them on the same night, but one night or the other, they need one of those guys to step up. And tonight, Daniels had himself a heck of a game.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Andrew. You know, those are 2 guys going into this season that we looked at and said, you know, those have to be 2 of the 3 or 4 top scorers for NC State. Devin Daniels is a great scorer. He hasn't had great games so far, but you know that's coming, and I think tonight was a little preview of what we'll see going forward.
Helms' 3 is short, rebounded by Thomas. Good look inside. They work the ball around, get an open corner 3, airmailed by Steger. Western Carolina hustling to get back. And they do cut off the NC State transition. Helms knows that's a size mismatch, and he's got that mid-range game.
I tell you, he shoots the ball way behind his head. It's hard to block. He kind of puts his body, bangs you once, a little bit of a fadeaway. He's tough to guard when he gets it within 10 feet.
I mean, that guy is a true baller.
He does a little bit of everything. I love his game. You know, it's not just one thing he does. He beats you so many different ways.
DJ Myers gets all the way to the rim. Myers scoring his first bucket of the game. The Harris got hip checked the other way. Both teams in the double bonus here.
Let's go to the Western upcoming 5 games.
And he misses the free throw. Hey, Western Carolina's got UNC Asheville coming up next. High Point, Iowa, Bowling Green. They're away from home until after Christmas when they finally get Wofford in Cullowhee. So a tough upcoming schedule for them. But you know what? what's interesting is they already played. We mentioned Furman. They already played SoCon game on December 1st. Get that early conference game out of the way. So it's a little bit odd, I feel like, going back to non-conference play.
Right, generally you don't see that. You know, you play a lot of non-conference and then get to conference. But, you know, it's tough when you're playing most of your early season games, you know, on the road. It's just difficult for any team.
Myers steals it away from Lockett, and Helms returns the favor. Looking ahead. It's an open three. Blake Harris. 100 for the Wolfpack.
I just tell you, I love the unselfishness of this team. They're always looking to make the extra pass.
McMillan airballs a three in the corner, and NC State will continue to run here. Steger grabs the deflection. This has got a pickup game pace to it right now.
Oh, yeah.
Myers on the deck.
NC State likes this pace. This is the way they want to play, up and down, even though it's late in the game.
Myers, nice find. Underneath, laying it in. Yalim Olje. Well, I told you NC State 14-0 in this series. In the 11 games in Reynolds Coliseum, NC State averaging 101.9 points per game. And has scored triple digits 8 times. Make it 9. And you were a part of one of those games. 1990 scored 119 points, you and Rodney Monroe, Fire and Ice.
I love together. We combined for 119 together. Those were fun games. Anytime you could play in front of these wonderful fans, it was always special.
Blake Harris will dribble it out. And the fans here give a standing ovation to Kevin Keats and his Wolfpack as they improve to 8-1. They hit the century mark here in the Heritage game and send the fans home happy on the dedication night for James T. Valvano Arena.
Just a special night all the way around. It started with a wonderful ceremony for Coach Jim Valvano, his family and friends. Led to an impressive victory by NC State, but give Western Carolina credit. They hung in there, fought. They're going to learn a lot from this going forward.
Our key tonight going into this one, we knew that Western Carolina turned the ball over a lot. NC State forced a lot of turnovers. 33 turnovers forced by the Wolfpack. Play the difference maker in this one. Thank you all so much for watching on this very special night. My partner Chris Corciani, our fantastic crew here in Raleigh. My name is Andrew Sanders saying good night. NC State wins it by a final score of 100-67. This has been a presentation of ESPN.